again, everyone. I hope you're all doing really well at home, getting on your mats as always, and enjoying this beautiful weather if it's still good with you, and it's still summer. So today's class, as you probably all already know, is a yin style class. However, there's going to be a slight twist because within the practice of yin, which is more coming from the Chinese medicine and that sort of way of teachings, is also this idea that you can get yang or more active postures within your yin series. So today is going to be yin with a little bit of yang. So we're going to be a bit more active, and in doing so, yes, whilst we're holding postures and we're going to take rebound postures and counter poses to take long, deep stretches, they're going to be a little bit more active, and hopefully in doing so, we're going to stimulate the body. So we're going to make the body feel at the end of today's practice a little bit more energetic, a little bit more balanced. So perhaps the meridians in the body, the energy channels, so what we call in yin series the chi in the body. By doing these stretches and by moving our chi around the body, those energy pathways become a lot more open. So your body just becomes a lot more open to feel a lot more balanced, and balance in your mind as well. So that's our plan for today, that's the class for today. As always, if you have niggles, if you have any injuries, please be really mindful. You know your body better than I do. And this is a great opportunity to listen to your body as well. So we're going to have time in each of the postures, a lot longer than we usually would do, to really tap into how it feels, what sensations, no matter how small they are, what sensations are coming up and how you really feel. So we're going to start in our Varasana pose, or you can stay in this comfortable seat. Otherwise, coming into Varasana, you can use the block. If you have cushions, pillows, blankets, just a suggestion to have them by you. We're going to need a few props and blocks. The block can go behind or underneath your sitting bones. And today we're actually going to turn the palms to face down. You're going to take a little tuck under of the chin to find length through the top of the spine, so almost creating that double chin. Just allow the arms to go, so you might need a bit of movement first. Close down the eyes and just start to come into your breath. Drawing the belly in as you breathe, the ribcage drops. And you can have a slight bit of movement if you want to just get going. On the inhale, you just allow the spine to curve just slightly, the shoulders to draw back. And on the exhale, the smallest of movements, perhaps a pelvic tilt, just draws you back through your center line. Belly draws in, body softens. Inhale, lifting. Belly expands. Exhale, draw yourself in. And you can continue, or you can just find some stillness. And notice any sensations that are coming up for you today. Any thoughts, any ideas. And try not to sit with them, try not to dwell on them. Just take note what comes into the mind. And with an exhale, if you're able to, just let it float by, bring your awareness back to your breath. Perhaps you hear the sound of your breath. Perhaps you're better with finding the sense, that feeling of breath from the nose at the back of the throat. And of course, you can continue to take those small movements, that wave of the body. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhale. Notice if you want to open the eyes, or notice if you want to get out of the posture early. Half the battle with yin and this this more yang series is, whilst the poses are a little bit more active, perhaps a little bit more energetic or strenuous, you can sometimes want to come out of them and either move around a bit more frantically, or you just want to find stillness or softness somewhere else. Learn to hold them in there. Learn a little bit of perseverance. When you're ready, you're going to draw your thumbs all the way through to heart center. And then just begin to rub the hands, the palms, creating heat, creating warmth. Keep going. When you're ready, you're going to take your hands, cupping the eyes, keeping the eyes closed, and just sending all of that warmth, that energy into the body. Tucking chin into chest. Begin to open the eyelids. Begin to draw spaces between the fingertips, bringing light all the way in. Drawing the hands all the way down onto the thighs, and as you do that, I'm just going to turn to the side again. You're just going to take a real simple forward fold. So as the hands come all the way down, forward fold onto the mat. You can keep your forearms down, the forehead down, onto the mat. The chin can stay tucked under. The knees can be wider if that feels good. As you roll up through the spine, vertebra by vertebra, just give the shoulders a nice roll all the way back and down. Inhale, lift the arms all the way up. Exhale, lacing the fingertips, take them behind the head, round through the spine, draw the elbows together, and just hold there. Length through the back of the neck. Inhale, rise, lift, open the arms. Release through the fingertips, stretch all the way up. And exhale, come into a twist. So you're going to drop that left hand to the outside of the right knee. Right fingertips behind you, look down at the toes, look down at the hip. Feel the stretch through the neck and the rotator cuffs through the shoulders. Inhale, lift the arms all the way back up, lace the fingertips, and draw yourself all the way down. Just taking a moment to hold there, chin to chest. Inhale, lift. Part the hands, part the fingertips, shoulders away from the ears, and then begin to take that twist all the way through. Right hand to left, outside of left knee, left fingertips behind you, gaze down at the toes. Feel the stretch on the outside of the neck. Feel the stretch through the shoulders. Inhale, lift through the arms. And exhale, draw your hands back through heart center. From there, just going to remove the block from underneath the sitting bones, come onto all fours. And you're just going to pat out the feet, the knees if you need to. Perhaps just move around just a little bit. I'm going to take a cat and a cow from there, so fingertips facing forwards. This is a really lovely one to wake up the spine. But take your time to feel all of the sensations, and perhaps you curl the toes under, you make it a little bit more active. You can release the toes if you'd like to as you come forwards through the heart, through the chest, and come into your cat stretch. Cow stretch, and then lifting through, to your cat stretch, tucking the tailbone under as you exhale. And don't worry too much today about the breath. You don't have to use Ujjayi breath. Better that the breath is easy, undisturbed. Making your way again through into your cow stretch. You can curl those toes under at any point if you want a little bit more. to open up through the bottom of the feet. The plantar, exhale, rounding. Releasing the toes if you'd like to. And then finding neutral spine. So you can have a little bit of a move around again if you'd like. From there we're going to use pillows. If you have a bolster, perfect. If you have a blanket, some blocks that you can stack up, that's perfect as well. We're just going to briefly come into a child's pose, but instead we're going to take a little bit wider, and we're going to use those blankets or your cushions just lay out in front of you, and you're just going to lower yourself down, taking the hands over, dropping your belly, your thighs right on top of those cushions and turning your head to the side. So from there you can let the arms go to the side, you can place them on the lower back if that feels good. And just take a moment there to settle, to notice. We won't be here too long. These more yin style postures today are our rebounds, are our rest poses. Just to take a moment to settle the body and to restore again, to come back to center. You can close down the eyes at any moment. Just keep the breath nice and long. At any point you can exhale, release out of the mouth. Releasing the hands forwards if that feels good. Notice if the hips are talking to you in this posture, if they're tight or if you're unable to lower all the way down. And when you're ready, just release. Just move the cushions to one side again, or your bolster, your bricks, whatever you might have. From there, plant down through the fingertips. Curl the toes under and lift yourself up and back into a down dog. Yeah, we're going there. So we're taking a down dog in this yang series in our yin style. So it doesn't have to be super active here. We're just holding the shape really, this upside down V or this triangle posture. And you can move around a little bit or you can find stillness. But the aim here is to find a little bit of length to get into the posture, not overly straining. In fact, the gaze can be down at the toes if that feels better. Perhaps even you're not dropping the heels down, you're keeping the knees nice and bent, and you're just trying to reach that tailbone up a little bit more. Breathing in and breathing out. When you're ready, we're going to walk our fingertips backwards towards the feet. So I'm going to walk my feet in just a tiny bit so I'm staying fairly central. From there, I'm going to hang ragdoll, and then we're going to roll up through the spine straight away. So a really nice one to get our energy moving through our upper body is taking a quarter sun salutation. So the feet are hip distance here. On the inhale, we're going to take that tailbone under. On the inhale, draw the arms all the way up and overhead. On the exhale, draw the hands all the way through heart center. And release the hands all the way back down by your side. So make this super active through your fingertips. Inhale, you can start to arch back a little bit more if that feels good. Exhale, push the fingertips together and come all the way through heart center and release those hands back to Tadasana right at your side. Inhale, lift the arms. This is our last one. Exhale, push the fingertips all the way through and release the hands back to Tadasana. This time, inhale, you can arch back a little bit more. Exhale, push the hands, and as you do so, you're going to soften through the knees this time. And you're going to walk your hands all the way back out, perhaps just adjust your alignment to come back into your down face dog. Holding down dog. From there, looking between the space in your hands, you're going to stride that right foot through. drop down to the back knee. You might want to double up onto your mat, fold it up, or perhaps place a blanket under the knee. We're going to come into our low dragon series. So this is a little bit more active. First of all, just holding that low lunge, low dragon. So you're welcome to draw both hands to the instep if that feels better, and we're just going to hold there. Be a little bit more active through that back foot by pressing down. Allow the chest and the heart to come forwards. Make sure that knee is aligned with the ankle. If you'd like to place your hands on cushions or pillows, if that makes it feel a little bit easier, you're welcome to. And just hold there and breathe. So we're going to hold this for about a minute. And of course, as you go and we hold these stretches, we're going to be able to go a little bit deeper every single time we breathe. So you might want to edge the front foot back a little bit more, opening the hips, or creep the front foot forwards. It's totally up to you. Try not to round through the back. There's no need to low down here into lizard. Just keep lifting through the chest and holding in that low lunge. Almost there. Keep holding. Just another 10 seconds. Breathing in and breathing out. Chest coming forwards. See how, and just notice where the sensation of the stretch is. And then when you're ready, from there, we're going to stay on this side. Taking both hands either side of that front foot. You're just going to lift, come into a very brief hamstring stretch. So our Namaste. Working through the hamstring on that right side. And then we're going to begin to slide that foot back. So our ankle is then closer towards us. And then we're going to come into an overreach. So we usually don't talk about the knee going beyond the toes, but in this sense, we're fairly stable. We're not going to be moving around. So we're going to overreach. Try and keep your heel down at this point, and you're going to start to feel a big stretch in the back of the Achilles. And we're going to hold there. So again, you should still feel the stretch on the left side, the left hip flexors. Try and work those fingertips either side. And hold and breathe. You might want to keep tucking your tailbone under, perhaps lifting up and just working through there. You might even be able to just scoot the foot back just another couple of millimeters or a centimetre. Toes spreading wide. You may even have blocks just to bring the earth a little bit closer if that feels good. Either side of you, or even using books, anything that you have at home. And when you're ready, you're going to come up through the fingertips. You're going to gently just lift through the toe, bring it back and drop yourself back into Hanumanasana or half Hanuman. This time you might find a flex in that front toe, front foot, extending the stretch a little bit more. And then as you move forwards, planting down, perhaps drawing the back knee in just a touch and lifting yourself through, tucking the tailbone under, inhale both arms all the way up. So we're not going to stay there in a low lunge or Anjana Asana. We're going to begin to take a twist. So twisted lunge, twisted dragon series. So taking that left hand to the outside. Perhaps you just hold there and reach down through the right. Perhaps you're able to move your body weight forwards. And again, just make sure that you have alignment through the knee and the ankle. And you might stay there, and you might even begin to lift that back leg up and perhaps take hold. Using blocks, either planting that hand down to the instep or to the outstep. Using the different heights of the block to reach. So staying fairly active. Through these stretches, you might release, curl the toe, Just see how that feels. Work through the various ways of the posture that you can come in and come out. And just notice what that twist does to the sensation of the stretch, especially in this right hip if you're getting any mutation. And notice if you do tend to want to draw the knee out or draw it in, perhaps try to do the opposite today. And then when you're ready, begin to sweep yourself around. You can lift yourself up and out to start off with. Maybe even release back again into that Hanuman. Move yourself back forwards, nice and easy. And then from there, we're going to take a step back, all the way back through into our down dog. Fingertips lovely and wide. Again, this isn't your perfect down dog. We're not striving for perfection here, we're just working with a shape that feels good in the body to bring some length back to the spine, lengthening through the back to the legs. So find a little bit of ease in the posture, almost like this would be a restful posture. Yep, she said it, down dog is restful. And then when you're ready, gaze between the fingertips, we're going to step that left foot through. Give it a little helping hand if you'd like to. Use your blocks as well, of course, dropping that back knee down. Just coming into that low lunge. So you can take the hands to the instep, walk that foot out just slightly. Draw that leg back if you have a bit more openness through the right hip. Bring blocks in, bring your cushions in, work with what feels good. And again, we're going to hold here for that full minute. So try not to just sink down and round through the spine. Keep the chest coming forwards. Try not to sink in the shoulders, keep lifting up and out of them. Perhaps you can walk the front foot forwards a little bit, or the back heel a little bit further away from you. So we still have over halfway, breathing into it. Notice if you want to move, if you want to fidget today. And then when you're ready, just start to move, taking the left hand back. Walk the foot in just slightly, and then you're going to rock those hips back, coming into that Hanuman. Belly, chest falls forwards on over onto the thigh. We're not going to be here too long, almost like our counter pose. We're going to come forwards, and this time as we come forwards, we're going to slide that heel back, and we're going to come into that overreaching stretch. So the hands can come beyond the feet this time, either side if that feels good. And you might have a little bit more. Remember, each side is different, as always. Trying to keep that heel down, that's the important thing here. So if you have tight calves, if you have not much range through your mobility through the Achilles and the ankle, you might find that it's quite difficult to go into these postures. But actually, if you run, or if you do, particularly if you do any squats or any variations of deadlift, actually having good ankle mobility is really important. Holding it there. Of course, for our chair pose, our Utkatasana, really important that we have good ankle mobility there. Last few breaths. Notice any sensations coming up, perhaps in that back knee, in the foot, and you just need to release a little bit. And then again, we're going to move and drop ourselves backwards. Either dropping bum to the hip or keeping it a little bit higher. And then as we come forwards again, tucking the tailbone under, this time rising all the way up and coming into that twist variation. So the hand can come to the outside, onto the back of the hamstring of that right leg. And of course you can begin to lower and drop yourself down into the stretch. Fingertips to the mat or to a block. Picking up the back foot if you'd like to, drawing the foot in towards you for a quad stretch, or pressing the foot away to open through the shoulder. Totally up to you with that variation. You can release the foot, come up onto the toe. Holding that wherever you are. You might walk the foot a little bit further forwards. And when you're ready, releasing both hands either side and dropping yourself down. And this time you might have flexion to lift through the toes. And once again, as we move ourselves forwards, placing the fingertips, lifting yourself up, down dog. So finding alignment again in down dog and perhaps taking those feet all the way to the very width of the mat. Fingertips spreading wide. Gaze might be between the toes rather than tucking the chin too much. And we're just going to stay here for one more breath. And then making our way down onto our knees. And we're going to come down onto our forearms, stretch those legs behind us, drop onto our bellies, and then just come into this prone posture. The big toes are going to touch and the heels, the ankles are going to roll away. And this is just going to be our counter pose. Our pose where we're just able to settle the body again. Just a few rounds just to notice what's happening perhaps in the knees, perhaps in the hips and the ankles, to let the lower back settle. Close down the eyes. Notice if you're holding on here, if you're struggling to release the hips, the glute muscles, if you're squeezing your bum, squeezing the hamstrings, let them go. No tension in the shoulders. And slowly, when you're ready, you're going to place the hands underneath those shoulders. You're going to curl the toes under, lift yourself up with cracking elbows, as mine always do, into child's pose. Curling the toes under and lifting yourself into your down dog. Again, we're going to walk our fingertips back towards our feet. I'm going to walk my feet forward so I'm at the centre of my mat. But work with what feels good. We're going to keep this hip distance apart. We're going to soften through the knees. And if you have, again, a bolster, if you have pillows, you're going to drop that pillow down, either on the feet, almost to like weigh the feet down. Soften through the knees, and we're going to come into this forward fold. So perhaps you can place your hands down and it just takes some of the weight of the upper body, and you can place the forearms onto the mat, or you can first come further forwards onto the toes. You can always release the hands. You can always lengthen the legs a little bit more as you dangle forwards. And there's a real resistance in this posture, believe me, to come out of it. It's strong through the hamstring, it's strong through the lower back. So if you have anything there and you do need a bit more support, you can always place another cushion. You can always bend the knees a little bit more, put weight into the legs instead. Holding there. Close down the eyes if you'd like to. And the head is below the heart here, so you get a nice rush of blood to the head, a bit of a yogic high. Almost like the same benefits of an inversion. And then slowly, when you're ready, soften through those knees. Begin to round up through the spine, vertebra by vertebra. Head, neck and shoulders last to rise. Roll the shoulders back and down. Just move the cushion and pillow to the side, or you're welcome to keep it there. And we're going to take our half sun salutations from there. So feet can stay hip distance, or you can draw them together. Tucking tailbone under. This is a really good one again for that movement of energy, lifting all the way up. Exhale, soften through the knees, hands through heart center, dropping the fingertips down, out in front if you'd like to. Uttanasana, if you can, dropping the fingertips in line with the feet, forward fold. Inhale, rolling onto the fingertips or placing the hands on the shins or on your block. Flat back is our Ardha. Exhale, draw yourself down. And the option from there is to roll back up, vertebra by vertebra, or to soften through the knees first. Swan dive, tuck the tailbone under and lengthen. Exhale, hands back through heart center and rolling all the way back down. Forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha, flat back. Exhale, draw yourself down. So as we slow this sequence down that we do so often, lots of other things can come up. Sensations that we've never felt before in our body or when we've usually done the sequence. Exhale, draw yourself all the way down. So take your time. Flat back. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise, come up, or take vertebra by vertebra. Shoulders back and down. Hands either side of the body. This time we're going to work all the way down to the mat. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hands through heart center, soften through the knees, placing the hands down, straightening the legs. Inhale, flat back, lengthen and prepare. And on the exhale, stepping or walking your feet all the way back, straight into your down face dog. As you come into down face dog, chin to chest just slightly. We're just going to move around. So we're going to walk the dog, pedal the feet if that feels good. If you need to take a child's pose, you can. Again, we're thinking about moving consciously, gently to stimulate the body, to stimulate those meridians, those channels in the body, to open through any resistance. So if once we move consciously, we take our time through the postures, perhaps lifting the toes in this twist, pedaling the feet still or dropping the knees in. If you want a more pronounced twist, you can come all the way through and perhaps bend back. Know what your energy levels feel like. You might even just find stillness in the down dog. You might find some loaded beasts where you push through the hands and the heels, dropping your seat down. And you may even find your three-legged dog today. Try and keep those shoulders pressing equally. The closing of the shoulders so we're not opening up too much quite yet. You can flex the foot and drop the hip down. And perhaps you switch sides. Lifting through that left leg, Flexing the foot, dropping the hip, sliding the foot down. Going back into your alignment of down dog. Again, pedal, tread, do what feels good in your down dog to get yourself moving. And then when you're ready, down onto the knees. Uncurl the toes and drop yourself back into your child's pose. So option of this child's pose is to bring a block in to place the forehead on. Close down the eyes. And notice if the heart rate's gone up a little bit. Notice the temperature of the body as well. Notice if you need the block a little bit higher, or you want to get rid of the block altogether. Hands to the lower back again for the round child's pose. Adding a bit more weight into the lower back, the sacrum to press it down. And we're going to draw the fingertips back through. Begin to rise and lift back up. Spreading the knees, taking them underneath the hips. And then from there we're going to take one handprint forwards. And we're going to press away through cat stretch. Curling the toes if you'd like to, again for more of a reach underneath the feet. And on the inhale, soften through the elbows and come forwards into your calf stretch. So a little bit more extended, so we've warmed up through the spine a little bit more, so this should feel really nice. Exhaling, pressing through the fingertips, curl the toes again if you'd like to. Inhaling, releasing the toes, elbows can bend, but keep drawing those elbows in if you can. And exhaling, last one. Curl the toes, draw the belly in. You can press back a little bit more here. And release. Come forwards. And then from there, neutral spine, sliding the hands back. Going to drop ourselves back onto Varasana. Just give the shoulders a nice roll. This is a really good one first thing in the morning to get yourself going. And then walk those feet round. So from there we're going to come to lay on our back. Make sure you have your block handy just by your side. We're going to roll all the way down onto our backs. Placing our fingertips, palms facing down so they can just about brace the heels. From there we're going to take that pelvic tilt. Navel, belly button draws all the way in towards the spine. And we're just going to take some rolling bridges. So squeezing the bum, the hamstrings on the inhale, we're going to rise, lift all the way up. Make sure those knees don't drop out, keep drawing them together. Finding the big toe and the four corners of the feet, really pressing through the big toe, and on the exhale coming down. And again, take this slowly. We often kind of come up into bridge and shoulder stand really quickly, and we kind of miss working through the vertebra, finding our feet, rolling down on the exhale, letting the spine go. And last one, inhaling, lifting, tucking the tailbone, squeezing the bum, drawing those knees together. Exhale, letting go. Releasing. And then from there, drawing knees in towards the chest and into that wind release pose. You can really wrap the arms around if that feels good. Let the toes and the feet just hang nice and easy. And from here, this is where you're going to need your block, perhaps a cushion, your bolster, or even just a couple of bucks. You're going to begin to lift, rise, and place that right underneath your sacrum. So when you lift the legs all the way back up, that sacrum lower back is pressing all the way down into the block nice and evenly. The palms can come to face up or face down. The chin comes into the chest, so you lengthen through the back of the neck. And you're just going to hold that posture. See if you can lengthen through the legs just a little bit and see what sensations you get down the back of the hamstrings, perhaps into the calf, the feet. And we're going to hold there. So again, this is one of those poses that you often want to come straight out of. You feel a little bit of a rush towards the head again. Also feels quite strange to be off the legs, off the feet. Close down the eyes if you haven't done already and just let the legs hang. So you don't have to be too active in this posture. Just try and keep them up nice and heavy. If you prefer to be active, there's always the option of placing one foot onto the back of the feet, onto the toe, and just give yourself a little stretch. See if you can do that. Then you can release and then just work through the other side. So this takes a little bit of core work as well to balance, to find that length. And then release. And then rather than lowering straight down here, we're going to bend at the knees and let the feet hang. So this is quite nice because we're moving a little bit more weight into the lower body, into almost like a lever, dropping our feet down. So the tendency wanting to lift the lower back here, trying to keep your pelvis tucked under, your belly button drawing in, let the feet just hang. Shoulders relaxed. And then as you slowly lower the right foot down to the mat, and the left, you're going to lift your hips up just enough to move the block down onto your bum muscles. You're going to begin to stretch those legs out nice and long, one at a time, coming into pontoon. So this is a really nice posture to bring openness to the hip flexors and the hips. If it's too much for the lower back, you can always just remove the block, perhaps coming straight into your savasana, or you can place something a little bit of a lower height. Turn the palms to face up, let the shoulders just spread and open wide through the collarbone. Close down the eyes. And just take a moment to see if you are still holding on here. So there's a moment, almost like what we do in our Tadasana pose, where we lift our kneecaps and our quadriceps lift through. So you're almost tensing your quads. If you can, let that go. Softness through the knees, so a little micro bend, let the feet turn out. Close down the eyes. Try and just come into your nasal breathing with no extra effort. If you like to practice any breath retention, this is a really good opportunity now. Perhaps to take longer, deeper breaths, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Perhaps even to take pauses at the top of your inhalation and a pause at the bottom of the exhalation. Elongating the breath every single time. And then just notice how the body feels. If you feel like you have gently stimulated the body and it feels a little bit more awake. If you have movement, that feeling, those vibrations. And of course you're welcome to stay in this pontoon posture. You're welcome to lift through the legs, one at a time through the feet, and remove the block to the side, rolling down through the spine. Just take a moment there for the lower back just to rest, to settle, before you then go on and extend the legs all the way out. Finally coming into your Shavasana, the final pose, and I want to really offer up an opportunity to stay here today for as long as you can.
to recharge the body. Perhaps your hands come onto your belly and you focus back onto your breath, and you continue with those pauses, that breath retention at the very top and the very bottom. Perhaps this is a really good opportunity if you take any other breath work, if you take a mantra, or if you would just like a moment of stillness, of mindfulness, of meditation. Please stay here for as long as you can. Keep lengthening through your spine. And at any moment when the time is right for you, find your way into your comfortable seat. Perhaps you roll over onto right cheek and shoulder or your left side today, depending on how your body feels, where your energy levels are. We're going to close our class just again by pausing, keeping the eyes closed, so staying in Shavasana, going to your comfortable seat. And working with the breath, taking those noticeable pauses at the very top of the inhalation. Exhale, empty out. And take that pause at the very bottom of your exhalation. Inhale, full breath. Feel all that air, that goodness coming all the way towards the body, nourishing, replenishing every cell. Pausing at the top. Exhaling, releasing. Pausing at the bottom. Inhale, full breath all the way in. As you take that breath in, it reaches every nook and cranny in the body, filling the body all the way up. The breath moving into those spaces that you've created. Exhaling. Belly draws in. Releasing. Letting go, finding a nice easy breath wherever you are. Drawing your thumbs all the way through to heart center, all the way through to your third eye. And through to your crown today, your 1,000-petal lotus flower crown. Living your life to its fullest, embracing your life with passion, bowing down to the divine in each and every one of you, saying thank you so much for getting onto your mat again today and finding a little bit of yang within your yin. Namaste.